Good day, friends. Now, something of, I won't say it's rare, but I've been looking online to find information about this guitar, and I can't even find a picture. I can find some pictures similar, and I can find a same guitar but a different with gold hardware. Now, thinking that's a 335, you'd be absolutely right. It is an ES-335, and yes, it is a Gibson. But it's got chrome-ish nickel hardware, it's got Grover tuners, and it's got black binding. Now these with black binding, its model name is ES-335 BP. Now I didn't know what BP stood for, but I said to the owner when I got it, I said it'll stand for something blue. Now the actual colour of this is translucent blue. So BP, you think, could it be Pelham blue Pelham? Well, it's not, because the blue Pelham ones have got cream binding, and it's not the Pelham colour. It's too dark and it's just too different. So it is a translucent blue. It's a year 2000 model. Looking at the serial on my headstock on the back there, it's 0195 0503. Well, you zip the first and fifth digits, or the first digit and the fourth from the end digit are the year. So the year gives us 00, which gives us a year 2000. Then you've got date, which is the 195, so it's the 195th day of the year that year, which would have been 13th of July. And the run number is 503. Well, you ignore the first 300, so it's run number 203. So it's a 203rd, is it a 203rd guitar made that day, or the 203rd guitar made that week, or that month, or whatever. I don't know how to number it. But it was made in July, in the year 2000, July the 13th. Absolutely gorgeous looking thing. Coming with, I've checked the frets are fine, but the guy says it needs a setup. I already noticed that some of the saddles are the wrong way around, so we're going to sort those out because we can't get the intonation exactly right. I don't like these weedy bridge posts because the bridge is bending forward. I would prefer to go with wider ones in there, but it's how Gibson make them, so we'll leave it like that. Also, he said the switch is intermittent. Now, since he bought it to me, I had it plugged in. It was not intermittent at all. It's absolutely fine. So I said I'm going to remove that. I'm going to have a look at it, and I'm going to squirt some switch cleaner in there and just check the soldering. So we're going to check all the electrics anyway. I've already checked that there's no scratching on the pots. So I'm basically going to give this a clean. I'm going to rub some steel wool on these, see if we can just polish them up a little bit. I don't know how nice they will come out. I says that tarnishing is just natural. You know, I don't think we're about to get rid of that, but I'll have a go and we'll see what we can do. So I'm going to crack on with this. There is a big bubble here of paint, and you can press it in. And the guy, he noticed it when he bought it here. It's a good job we noticed it before he left, because he might have thought I'd done that. It's hollow in there. It's where it's bubbled up, where the paint and the lacquer and the undercoat or whatever primer has all come away from the wood. So maybe the wood was not quite right. I've checked the frets for level. The frets seem alright, but I'm going to check them again. And we're going to stick on here. He's asked me to stick a set of 9s on here. So we're going to go with a set of Ernie Ball Slinky 942s. And that's it. It's going to have the full bit, the complete setup, and a set of strings. And I'm going to crack on with it. I'm going to get it done. I'm not going to film the work because I've been doing that many videos lately. A client actually asked me the other day, says, how come you haven't posted videos for a week? I says, let me tell you, I've got hundreds of bits of videos upstairs all in a folder waiting to be put together and posted. But the thing is, I've been working on that many different things, different projects, that I don't post a video till I've got enough to make a video, and I round it off, and I've not got to the end of anything yet. It's just part things. So I've got 6 or 7 different projects with all bits of video on there, and I've actually, you know, it's the way it goes sometimes, and you might find I'll do a flood of videos soon. Just because I post a video, it doesn't mean the work's been done recently. It means, you know, the work was done at some time in the past, you know, and I've not got round to posting it, or for whatever reason. So anyway, I'm going to crack on with this. Like I say, I'm not going to film it because I've got, you know, I've got a lot on at the moment. But what I will do is, if there are any problems, I'll come back, I'll highlight the problems, tell you what's what, if there's any eye frets or anything. And I'll come back with an update, basically, more than likely, when I've got the work done and it's ready, you know, for it to go back to its owner. So that's it. So I will catch up with you again later. So A mini update on the ES-335 BP. I have fixed the problem and the issue with the bridge. I've swapped the saddles around. I was going to swap round. Still got to do the intonation on these two again now because I've swapped them round. I've polished up the bridge and tailpiece best I can. They've come out a little bit better. Some of the tarnishing's off. Still not perfect, but you're not going to get it perfect when it's been sat that long. I'm removing the tuners 3 at a time to also give those a clean, because the tarnishing, there's a lot of tarnishing on the buttons themselves, which I've removed. They're a lot shinier now. I've done this edge and I've done the crown. I'm going to try and get in underneath here on these stems and just get round there a bit. I didn't know I wasn't showing that. So I've done this crown, I've done each side. I'm going to get in underneath now, get the stems done, polish around this area, put them back on the guitar. I'm also going to be doing the washers and the bushings there. Just a little bit of steel wool. This is what you get on an intensive setup. It really is very thorough. I removed the three-way switch, well, as best I could. I couldn't get it out because it's soldered. The loom underneath, it looks like it's been adapted and it's been soldered that close to the pot. I can't get it out without removing all the pots, so there's no way I'm going in there and dragging the whole loom out. I've had a look at the wiring. I've been in there with a magnifying glass. I've had a close look. I've checked everything. I've checked the switch. It all works fine. I've gone with a good couple of squirts of switch cleaner. Servicol is the one I use. Give it a good spray with that. Had it plugged in. It works absolutely fine. So I would say if that was intermittent before, it would have been because of some grime on the contacts. Now the contacts have been cleaned. Should be absolutely fine. I've got a little clean over the top of the pickups. I'm going to raise them right up, get a good clean on there, just polish those up a little bit. And after that I'll be doing the frets and the fingerboard. The fingerboard's a little bit grimy. So quite a lot of work going into this, but it's what you get. It's what you pay for an intensive setup for. With the intensive setup you get the cosmetic work done, you get your fingerboard oiled and cleaned, you get your frets polished, you get your electrics checked. It's so much more intensive than what I call a player setup. So for an extra 25 quid, I would always recommend you go for the intensive, unless your guitar is in more or less pristine condition, you know your electrics and frets are okay. Included in an intensive setup, you get 5 frets levelled and recrowned included in that price. Any more than 5 frets, there's no way it's going to come in under a setup. You're going to have a fret level separate. So I hope that's explained a couple of things. I'm going to go crack on with this. I'm going to get it done and I can let the owner know and he can come and fetch it. I've just come back to show the difference between polished hardware and tarnished, unpolished hardware. And you'll notice this is the bass side, this is the treble side. I've polished the bass side. I remove them, polish them with steel wool. I'm going to show the front. This is the front. These are a lot shinier than those, and I'm going to turn it round. And now the bass side is at the top, treble side's at the bottom. The bass side are all shiny and new. I've polished every possible area on these, and the bottom ones are all still tarnished and dull. I mean, come on, that difference is night and day. I don't know if you're getting it with the light. Try and show you that way. Polished, not polished. So that's it. I'm going to remove these 3 now, get them polished, get them back on, and then we can look at getting the neck and the frets done. Stay tuned. Just a little update on the Gibson ES-335. What a beautiful guitar this is. I've levelled the neck, not straight edge on there, made sure the neck's level. Been across the frets in all areas with a fret rocker. There is not one high fret at all on this guitar. Not even getting close to high. There's no rock at all on these frets. Absolutely wonderful. So all that remains to be done now is, you see there, tuners have been taken off, been polished, cleaned up, put back on. Absolutely beautiful. Now they don't look new, but they look good. The nut, I've recut the nut. I've gone in with my Hosco files, just tidied up the slots a little bit. I've not checked for height yet. Once I've got strings and I'll check for height, I might need to do a little bit more tweaking on that nut, but it seemed alright when I got the guitar here. I've also cleaned up the pickups, cleaned up the tops of the tailpiece studs there. The bridge and tailpiece are already cleaned up. So what remains to be done now is I'm going to bring the pickups up a little bit. I'm going to give them, I'm going to tape all around there so we don't get no filings inside the gaps. I'm going to clean them up. I'm going to polish the frets with some steel wool, finest grade steel wool, and we're going to mineral oil the fingerboard. In fact, I'm going to spray some of that in right now. We're going to let that soak in for 15-20 minutes. While that's soaking in, I will get on with doing the pickups, and once that's done and we've got the neck clean, the fingerboard clean and the frets polished, we get some strings back on and get it set up. So I would say there's another hour on this. It's probably, when all said and done, it's getting the intensive setup, which, you know, intensive setup is an intensive setup. It's 3 hours in that. When you get to the level of cleaning this is having, you know, and you're checking the electrics and polishing and blah, 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 blah. You know, you're getting a good deal when you bring a guitar for me for an intensive setup. You're not getting an hour and a half skimming here and there. You're getting 3 hours of good luthier time, you know. And it's what it's all about. I take pride in my work. I love my work. You want to check me out, go and check my webpage out. Now I'm between domains at the moment. Fretfriend.net has just run out. I'm going to try and renew that shortly, but they keep effing me about. They keep wanting more and more money. They're holding the domain, so I'm going to let that go, I think. Christian-guitars.com I'm also going to let go, and I'm going to go and get another Fretfriend one, probably fretfriend.co.uk. I'm going to pay for 10 years on that, and I'm going to get that. And once, but I don't know yet. I don't know what's happening with my domain. So once my domain name's, yeah, I'll let you know when my domain name is sorted out. So at the moment, I'm just using my Facebook page. And to find me on Facebook, you just need to go to facebook.com, and you need to type in at the end of facebook.com, it's /NGONESEVEN. That's NGONESEVEN. Facebook.com/NG17. So that's where you find me. It's where you can read reviews, where you can go and check my work, or you can stay tuned to this YouTube channel. There's a link always to my Facebook page at the top of the description. Just below where my finger is, down there somewhere. Right, I'm going to crack on with this guitar now. I'm going to get it finished, and I'll come back, show you when it's done, and we can move on to something else. Welcome back, and here is the guitar all finished. All set up nice, set up to all my recommended spec. I've not just set this guitar up, checked the electrics and made sure this switch is working fine in the middle position, because it wasn't working in the middle position. It's absolutely worked fine since I've had it. I've polished up all of the chrome, give it all a good clean. I've reset the bridge, I've set the intonation on the saddles, I've turned some saddles around, I've polished up the bridge and the tailpiece. I've removed, stripped, cleaned and polished up the tuners, front and back. These were taken off the guitar. I've tightened the strap buttons as is standard, and I've given the guitar a clean. And there you go. The guitar looks and plays absolutely wonderful. The neck itself, there were no high frets at all on this, which is rare, but I would expect that when you buy a guitar of this calibre and quality, you know. But none of the frets needed touching at all. I've mineral oiled or lemon oiled the fingerboard, cleaned that up, gave that a wipe over. Let the mineral oil soak in there just to nourish and feed the wood. We need to do that once or twice a year. And I have polished the frets, going across with a, I've got these gubbins which you place over a fret and you just polish over. So we wanted a nice polish. The action is beautiful, 1.75 millimeters above the 12th fret on the low E, 1.5 mil above the 12th fret of the string, between the top of the fret and the string on the I string. Try playing a guitar like that where it's still vertical like that. Very difficult, couldn't even see the strings. But anyway, that's done. So I'm going to get this back in the case. I'm going to get in touch with the owner. What a beautiful looking guitar it is. I'm going to get in touch with the owner, and I am going to let him know that his guitar is ready to collect. So another project done. So until the next one, as always, be good to each other. I will be watching, and I'll talk to you soon.